Good morning, team. It is Tuesday, July 13th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Amy Core, and I'm out of the Goose Island office once again with Kevin Van Eck, but I'm really excited because I am standing in my almost fully complete office with my brand new bookshelves. So would love your feedback. Hope you think they look great, and it includes some of my awesome platitudes, which Kevin really loves. Anyway, we're really excited to have you here with us again, and we're about ready to jump into another episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin. So grab your coffee, your tea, your power smoothie, or your lemon water, and let's get going.
Yes, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. You know what? I actually spent my weekend on Etsy looking for my own platitudes. So you'll be surprised at what you see is on order coming up soon. But yes, grab your coffee, get ready for a great episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin. Today, we are just past the middle of the year. So what does that mean? This means no matter what's been happening this year so far, what you've done or not done up to this point, there's an opportunity. And we've talked about this over the last few weeks in different ways. There's an opportunity in front of us to control what happens through the rest of 2021 and how it determines what happens in 2022.
That's right, Kevin. And today what we want to talk a little bit about is how did we get here? I mean, we have had a roller coaster of the last 18 months, and 2021 has been an extraordinary year for so many of us and for many of you. And we want you to take a step back though and take inventory. We're midway through the year. We're rolling into July. I know in some of the markets it's slowed down just a little bit, but I'm really confident that we're going to see a pickup again and have a very busy fall. But what we want you to take a look at is if you had an okay year or an extraordinary year, what we want you to look at is how did I get here? And what were some of the things that I am doing in order to create success in my business? And I think this is important because for some of us, we might be having a record year just as the market has a whole lot of momentum. But you want to think about what happens when the market does low at some point, whether it's in the next 12 months. Am I doing the things right now to really continue to fuel my business? So take a step back, take a look at, am I writing note cards? Am I reaching out to people? Am I taking the actions that I need to in order to carry my business forward, regardless of the momentum of the market? And I know for many of us, we might feel a little bit overwhelmed. That's okay. Being overwhelmed is normal in a busy market. It's a good thing, but you need to take a step back, take a look at where you're at in your business and start figuring out what you need to do to create great success moving forward.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, Amy, because feeling overwhelmed is natural, right? So whether this year has been full of business for you or you're feeling overwhelmed because of what hasn't happened this year, it's a natural feeling. So what we need to look at is get past this roadblock, because otherwise feeling overwhelmed is going to paralyze us. Now, I want to use a great example. There's someone named David Goggins. You may have heard of him. He's a retired Navy SEAL. He's an ultra marathoner, ultra distance cycler, very impressive guy. He's also written a book in 2018 that I highly recommend you check out. Now, David Goggins, what's important about him? When he tried to join the Navy SEALs, when he applied to what's called Bud School, he weighed 300 pounds and was rejected. What he did is he set a plan because he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. He set a plan and 3 months later came back at 190 pounds. Now that sounds super overwhelming, right? That's the theme. We're feeling overwhelmed. But he was able to do it because he broke it down into a plan that he was able to accomplish each day, little by little. And he ended up being in the Navy SEALs for 20 years. Now, let's talk about another story with David. He held the pull-up record in the Guinness Book of World Records, the most pull-ups in a 24-hour period. Now, this number is going to sound hopefully overwhelming. And if not, you are a pull-up master. He was looking to beat 4,020 pull-ups in a 24-hour period. Now, to anybody, to me, that sounds crazy. That sounds overwhelming. The way he did it, the way he beat that record to 4,030 pull-ups is he broke it down. How many pull-ups did he have to do each hour and each minute in that 24-hour period to break the record? And that's really important because if we just set our goal at 4,030 pull-ups, that is super overwhelming. We're going to feel like we can't get there. We're going to feel like our self-doubt comes into play, confidence. It feels like something that's unattainable. But if we take the actions and we break it down into smaller pieces, what we've talked about in the past called tiny habits, if we break it into smaller pieces, it becomes much more manageable. And those are the actions we want to look at, whether we have been doing them this year to get to where we are, or there are actions we know that we need to do that foster relationships. Breaking it down into a daily or weekly activity is what's going to make it attainable, rather than focusing on this totally overwhelming, huge goal that we have set for ourselves.
That's great advice, Kevin. And so let's talk a little bit about taking action. In a last episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin, we introduced Mel Robbins, who is an amazing motivational speaker. And she talked about her secret of the 5-second rule. And it was what she used in order to get herself out of just sitting and being overwhelmed in her life and actually taking action. She would count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then would move forward with whatever action she needed to take. We want you right now, as soon as this episode is done, we want you to do the same thing. We want you to take 5-10 minutes to figure out 10 people from your database, 10 people. Who should I be reaching out to right now? Think about it. Right now, you can probably start writing them down and think about some of the people that come to the top of your mind as soon as we are talking about this. And what you need to do is you need to simply take action. We want you to reach out to them, whether it's sending them a text message, picking up the phone, writing them a handwritten note. Take some sort of action to 10 people in your network or your sphere of influence and put something out into the universe. And I will tell you, it does work. We are so certain of it because Kevin and I were teaching a small group a week ago, and we encouraged them to do the same thing. And guess what happened? Immediately, as these individuals reached out to 10 people in their sphere of influence, they started getting responses back. One person got a listing presentation. Another handful of people have coffee and lunch dates set up. Another person got a referral. As we were getting this feedback, it was overwhelming. So here's the deal. It works. All you need to do is take action and do it. So we want you to take the time, reach out to 10 people. I know you're already thinking about who they are, and take action and send us your feedback. Once you do get coffees and lunches, let us know. We want to know that this works because we're confident that it does. But it's time for you to make sure that you're taking the steps that you need to make sure that the second half of 2021 is going to be an amazing year, but even more than that, that you are building success as we head into 2022 and beyond. Because as Kevin said earlier, sometimes we set a goal for ourselves and we can be really overwhelmed. But if we break this down into small habits or actions that we can do on a daily basis, it's going to compound and make a huge difference. And you're going to see amazing success.
I love that. Take action right now, everybody. And like Amy said, send us the success stories, screenshot responses. Tell us the story over email. Send it to coffee@properties.com. That's coffee@atproperties.com. We love reading those stories. And I guarantee, like Amy said, once you start getting the positive feedback, you're going to want to do more. So thank you for joining us today for coffee. It's going to be a great Tuesday, and we can't wait to see you again next week.
Bye, team. Make it a great day. We'll see you next week.